Family court reform. What is it and where is it? One of the videos that we had planned here was going to focus on all of the proposed and maybe even some of the recently passed bills that are aimed at reforming the family court system. And honestly, I was pretty excited about it. I thought, finally, we're going to take a hard look at what's happening behind those courtroom doors. Hello and welcome back to Black Sheep Diaries, the show where we pull back the curtain on the family court system that impact real people and real families, and where we give you the platform to tell your real life experiences within the family court system. As I started digging, using ChatGPT, an outdated version, just to get the ball rolling, to my surprise, what I found initially gave me some hope. Proposals were coming out of multiple states that sounded actually promising. It looked like there was momentum. I thought I was about to uncover a wave of change, something that would reflect the nation's temperature on the family court reform. Well, it did open my eyes, but not in the way I was expecting. As I dug a little deeper beyond ChatGPT and into actual legislative databases and news sources, the excitement quickly turned into disappointment. A lot of these so-called proposals were either never passed, gutted and rewritten, or so watered down they didn't even resemble family court reform anymore. Sure, I came across bills that addressed child support reform, transparency in the foster care system, new language defining terms like custodial parent, tweaks on how the court interprets best interests of the child, modernized custody laws, and even bills regarding guardian ad litem, making them more accountable for their decisions. And all those things do matter. They are not insignificant. But the deeper I looked, the more I realized something critical was missing. Where are the bills? The serious proposals that actually hold the courts themselves accountable, not just changing how families must behave or what hoops they have to jump through. I'm talking about actual reform of the court system and the public servants inside of it. Where are the bills requiring judges and magistrates to give clear, documented account of how they made the life-changing decisions? Where is the transparency? What evidence was considered? What laws were referenced? Why were certain testimonies or documents weighed more heavily than others? Because let's be honest, some of the decisions coming out of the family court are pretty extreme. They can tear apart families, they leave parents and especially children confused, traumatized, and a lot of times powerless. And yet there's often no real explanation. It became painfully clear to me. Most of the reform happening isn't reforming the courts. It's just shifting the burden to the families. New rules, new definitions, new requirements for them, not the judges, not the court officers, not the system. So I had to ask myself, and now I'm asking you, where is the reform that holds the system accountable? Where are the laws demanding transparency from the people who support and serve the public? Where is the oversight when a court makes a decision that turns someone's life upside down? That was the rabbit hole that I fell into. And sadly, I'm still looking for answers and for real change. Because until we start asking those questions, until lawmakers start writing bills that don't just tweak the system, but challenge its structure, we're not talking about reform. All we're doing is rearranging furniture in a burning house. And I get it. Some court officials are just as frustrated with the system as the families going through it. We can definitely not lump all court officials into that same basket. There are judges, magistrates, guardians, counselors, and even attorneys who truly care, who want reform just as much as the next family caught in the chaos. To say they're all corrupt or don't care or are just in it for the money, it would not only be untrue, but honestly, that would be a really ignorant statement. It would be like saying every mechanic is a scam artist because you had a bad oil change. That does not reflect reality. I've read about family lawyers walking away from the practice entirely because of how disheartening and unclear the system can be. Judges and magistrates often find their hands tied, forced to work within a legal framework that's vague and wide open for interpretation. Many times these officials, it can feel like a lose-lose situation to them. Darned if they do, darned if they don't. The truth is, it's not just the families who need reform. Meaningful reform would also support court officials, giving them clearer guidelines, more accountability, and a stronger framework to consider transparent and just decisions. Reform benefits everyone involved. Now, I want to hear from you. What's going on in your state? Is there any proposed reform happening where you live? Or is there reform that you wish someone would propose? Something that you've thought about that could actually make a difference? What about on the federal level? Are there bills, ideas, and movements that you've seen gaining momentum? Or maybe some that are ignored and they just need more attention? What are good ways to stay informed on this topic? Honestly, when I did a little digging myself, I wasn't impressed with what I found. Between outdated databases, vague summaries, and bills being written beyond recognition, it was pretty frustrating. So I'm genuinely asking, what sources and strategies have you found helpful for staying informed in the family court reform legislation? Are there podcasts, newsletters, advocacy groups, social media influencers who are informed, certain legislators who are worth following? What have you found? Drop in the comments, send a message, share a link. Let's get this information circulating. If we are going to push for real change, we need to be informed and connected.